Those that keep learning are bound to succeed. Those that succeed never stop learning. Join me today for this week's episode and a great interview on episode 81, Learning to Succeed. You're listening to the Surging Forward podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Surging Forward broadcast, where we're helping you to have a positive view in a negative world. My name is David Valentine, and I'm here to help you see the value in the job you do and how you can keep surging forward. Well, hello again, and welcome to the Surging Forward podcast. We're here to give another great episode to help you to stay positive in this crazy negative world. Yeah, sometimes this whole world can kind of beat you up a little bit, but I think you're going to enjoy this podcast. I'm actually doing an interview with one of my students who was in my class, and actually, she's still in the class. She's posed to graduate in a few months. So it's basically in honor of last week was Women in Construction Week. So I did the interview on Thursday, which was during the Women in Construction Week, because I kind of wanted to honor and just show that, yeah, there are women getting in the trades. Yes, it's... You know, people don't think about it a whole lot, but there's a lot of good things about the trades. I've kind of been on a swing lately to create that positive benchmark for those of us in the trades, me included. We need to really step out and get rid of that bad rap that the trades have. There's a lot that tradesmen do for the general public itself. Without tradesmen, you wouldn't even have a civilized society. Let's face it, guys, and women out there. You know, when I say guys out there, it's basically, you know, women and men. It's just a general term. I hope nobody takes it the wrong way, and that's why I kind of want to bring this to light, as there's a lot more women getting into the trades. Despite all the stuff that you hear going on out in the field and different things like that. And that's why this was such a great positive interview, because the trades are a great way to make a living. And if you're in the trades listening to this right now, I want to encourage you. There are a lot of ways that you can learn to excel in the field. And I want you, when I talk about her, when I talk to Ashley, and some of the responses she gives are right on the mark, especially about when do you quit learning. Because I want to challenge you out there in the field. Those of you who kind of just got your license, maybe you already have your license, maybe even have your contractor's license already, and you know you haven't taken any updated educational classes at all. Matter of fact, you know, if you're in the electrical field and your last code book is more than 8 years old, well, my friends, you're 2 cycles behind. And there's a lot of changes that have happened where it's going to continue learning experience. And whether you're a plumber, HVAC technician, there's always stuff changing. So it's important for us to stay up to date with the changes that are going on out in the field. And so that's where us here at Surging Forward, we're trying our best to help you keep up to date with those changes. And, we have the courses. If you want to go into business for yourself, that's one of the topics we're going to be talking about later on. Also about, going into business for yourself and becoming your own boss. And that is very well possible. It's nowhere is it easier to do than in the trades. Now, the key is being respectful and having honor and integrity. Because, my friends, that is one of the things that have destroyed the reputation of those in the trades. You know, those in the trades, they have a reputation of ripping people off sometimes, or just being a bumbling idiot. You even see Hollywood. It really, I wish I can get together with some people who knew how to do movies and this and that, and just really do a good show on the quality of tradesmen and what they do. There's a lot of honorable people that have their own business out there who do great things for the community, and they're out there making a good living and putting a lot of people to work, and they have honesty and integrity there. They're not bumbling idiots. A lot of them do have college degrees, but that's the cool thing about the trades. The college degree part for tradesmen usually comes in an interim afterwards, or it comes as a byproduct. It's not something that's required to get started. And you can make a decent amount of money without having that degree. And what you're going to also hear in this interview is we talk to Ashley, and it's pretty exciting because, you know, you don't have to start off in debt. You know, we get brainwashed with that society of thinking that, oh my gosh, you know, if you don't go to college, you're a failure. Well, that is not the case. Everyone out there listening to this podcast is important, and you have certain traits that other people do not have, which makes you valuable. And I don't care who you are. If you want to talk, or anybody that wants to send an email about an encouraging thought, you know, hey, let's chat for a little bit. And I bet I can find something that you're good at that nobody else is. And maybe it's not the trade. Maybe it's good at doing music. Maybe it's good at, you know, acting or doing other things. But all of us have certain inbound traits that we're good at. And I tell you what, most of the things that you're really good at, nobody else even wants to do at all. They want nothing to do with, you know, doing that particular thing. I know myself with electrical, there were so many times I'd go out to somebody's house and they'd be like, no way am I going to mess with that stuff. You know, you can get hurt. And absolutely. So I'm all for rules. I'm all for regulations. And I think it's important that we put the word out that tradesmen are important. So if you're not a tradesman out there, hey, thank a tradesman. Make sure you say thank you to somebody who has put the lights on in your neighborhood or your house. You see them working out there on the bucket trucks out there and the nasty weather. We got some big nor'easters coming up right now on the East Coast and up north and East Coast area here, and up in my area, up in the upper Northern Virginia area and places like that. There's a lot of heavy-duty things getting ready to happen and coming our way. It could even be some snow and some bad weather. But guess what? Tradesmen are going to be out there making sure that power stays on. And when they lose power, they're going to be doing everything they can to restore power. So it's something that we take for granted. And tradesmen are not just your bumbling idiot, and it's not a bad career to go into. So encourage others to get in the trades. Like I say, you can make a decent living. You could do well. I have done very well in the trade. I've been able to send my 2 kids to college, make it through some of the rough times, and it's kept me going for the past a little over 30 years now, 35 years. I said 20 for the longest time. Now I have to branch it over and say 30. But and that's why I want to just encourage you. And if you're in the trades, that's what Surging Forward is here for. Send me your emails. If you're looking for a way to, you know, make a difference, we can do a coaching session. Just let me know, and we can set up a time to actually find out what you want to do with your career. And, you know, it's, you know, we can go on a phone call. We could do it over Skype. And it's something that I think is very important so that you can make your own goals and become successful in whatever you're doing. So, like I say, check us out at www.surgingforward.com. And if you haven't done so yet, check us out on Facebook. Um, the Surging Forward Facebook page is growing. And I also want to say thank you, kudos. We are almost at 10,000 downloads. Woohoo! Man, that's amazing. I never thought it would go that far. We are here on episode 81. So this episode is more of a thank you episode. I want to thank the women in construction. I want to thank you for their contributions and all the struggles they've gone through. It hasn't always been an easy road. Guys out there can be a lot of idiots sometimes. And just ask my daughter how I've talked to her about guys. She's very picky about the guys that she's dated in her life. Matter of fact, she hasn't dated very many. She's with a great young man right now. But, she's very picky because, I've always tried to treat everybody with honor, respect, men or women. It doesn't matter. And that's where your integrity and honesty comes in. How do you treat people? Everybody has value out there. It has nothing to do with whether you have a lot of money or you don't have any money. It has nothing to do whether you live in a big house, a regular house, or, you're barely hanging out in a trailer park. It has to do with treating each person as an individual. Now, if someone acts like a jerk, well, hey, sometimes you need to shut them off and say, hey, I got nothing to do with you. But all of us, if we tried to get a little more of that positive attitude inside our lives, this world would be a whole lot better place. But anyhow, without further ado, I want to talk about, I want to go to the interview here. This interview, like I said, was done last week. Her name is Ashley Rayburn, and she is a fourth-year apprentice for, the electrical with ABC. And she's presently working for a company and doing a great job from what I hear. But you're going to hear a little bit about her story, about how she got in the trade. What would even cause, a woman to go into the construction field and different things like that. So we're going to talk about that. I think you're going to enjoy this interview. So without any further ado, I'm going to pipe it over to the interview, and then I'll come back at the end as we get ready to sign off. So hope you enjoy, and again, send us an email with your comments. We'd love to hear about them. And here's the interview with Ashley Rayburn. Okay, I'm here with Ashley from one of my apprentices, actually, in the apprenticeship program for ABC. And I want to talk to Ashley because this is recognition of women in construction. And I've had a few women come through my apprenticeship program, but Ashley's been excelling and doing very well in the class. And so she agreed to take the time to talk to me a little bit and let me know what it's really like for women out in the field. So I think this is going to be good for a lot of you guys out there so that you can really understand, hey, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, maybe. And and also, too, some of the respect that we can start giving women in the field, because I know a lot of women myself who do a lot of good work. I mean, I've always actually told you, actually, there's only two types: those that work real hard and those that don't work, right? So, again, Ashley Rayburn. So, hello. So, what actually caused you to get into the field, Ashley? Or basically, just introduce yourself. How long have you been doing this?
I've been in the trade for, I guess maybe a total of 4 years now.
Okay.
Total.
Okay.
I got into it. I'm a hands-on person. I like to do that kind of stuff. My grandmother did woodworking when I was a kid, so
Oh, wow. Okay.
and my uncle as well. They both built cabinets, so they have construction type blood. And
So you just had it in your blood there to be working in
basically,
construction. Okay.
yeah, basically, I've just always had people in my life that were part of construction, and my baby sister's dad was a master electrician when I was a kid, so we would come home in the bucket trucks, and it looked like a lot of fun, and that's what I wanted to do.
Cool. Okay. So you've been doing it for about 4 years. So did you? So you're in your fourth year apprenticeship, I guess, too, right? So
Yes.
you're ready to take that next step and
Yeah.
go get your license. Well, how's the struggle been for you? I mean, and has it been, since you had a background? A lot of guys have backgrounds in the electrical field too, and so they come in and they do very well. So has it been an easy ride for you, or has it been?
Getting my foot in the door was probably the hardest part. When I first I guess, started, I got treated like a girl, basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was too fragile, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. But basically, I just got out there and showed them I'm here to work just like you are. And,
Cool. Cool.
you
And
know,
so and you start winning the respect from some of the
yeah, I've
other.
earned my respect that I have. Some guys still baby me every now and again, but I just shove them out of the way and, tell them, let me do
And
it.
sometimes that's a natural. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just a natural thing. Sometimes, but yet, at the same time, um, are they willing to teach you out in the
Oh,
field?
yeah.
Have you gotten a lot of resistance of that at all? Or are you
Oh
learning?
no, no,
Good.
they're I think actually probably more apt to want to teach me over a guy, to be
Really?
honest.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of guys I work with are very eager to show me, but I'm also the kind of person that asks if I want to know.
So you're getting out there and actually doing some of that. Now, what's one of the most complicated of your jobs? Tell us a story about some of your work that you're actually doing. It's probably not just changing light
Oh
bulbs. I'm sure
no,
some
no,
of them are
no,
pretty
no.
complicated sometimes.
Well, for me, I don't get to dive into anything too complicated for myself, but um, a lot of what we go out and do is build out things like that, more elaborate things or taken care of,
Hmm.
But I'm working towards that. Um, right now we're out of TRICARE. That's got, some extra things we don't normally encounter. Like we have a giant inverter for, come to find out, outside parking lot lights.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, everybody thought those were for
So it's not
inside.
just putting outlets in a house
No,
and all these simple things. They can get quite
no.
complicated.
Yeah, it
So,
can be. Yeah.
yeah,
It's still things I'm learning about.
good, good. So do you see a future for yourself here in the electrical field? Do you think it's
Oh,
something you're going
yes.
to be staying in?
Yeah. I
Okay,
plan to. Yeah.
okay. And how has it changed you since you've been doing it for 4 years?
Probably got a lot more scars. Um,
We all have those.
yeah. Probably gotten a lot more responsible. Gotten better about getting up early in the
Okay,
morning.
okay.
Gotten had a little bit of mechanical knowledge, but gotten a lot better about how things work and you know,
Okay.
um, I don't know.
Now you were able to also get a scholarship last year, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I know they were working on it this year, but I don't think she was able to get it set up for you. But last year you were actually able to get a scholarship. What did that include?
Uh, Basically, it was a reward, a cash reward. Well, not cash, but they gave me a check and to use towards tools or schooling to
So that's
further
pretty.
education. I used it for tools for my job. So
So there are some benefits for women that can get in the trades and different
yeah,
things like that. So if you were talking, like actually we start off in the beginning, like even my saying, I've always said, I've had a lot of women work for me in the past. There's only two types. Would you agree with me on that? Or, I mean, do you find that you have to work harder sometimes to?
yeah, but I feel like that doesn't even just. That's not just for women in general. There's two types of people: those that work and those that don't.
Wow, that's a good philosophy. Yeah, there's those that just don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah,
That's good.
you
That's
know.
good. And so, so what is one of some of the biggest struggles you've had to deal with out in the field?
Um, just trying to wrap my mind around basically how it all works and
Okay.
the theory aspects of things and actually understanding what I'm doing as I'm doing it really is the hardest thing for me, at least at this juncture.
Yeah. So actually, the actual work is not really that bad.
Yeah,
It's just basically understanding it. And
the work is not bad. It's just the I get what I'm doing, but not fully how it works.
right. So actually, so do you see yourself actually, like I know we talked about it briefly a minute ago, but do you see yourself actually being able to do this 5, 10 years down the road and
Yeah,
excelling?
yeah,
So
that's
what are
the
some of your
plan.
biggest goals that you have? I mean, if I was to reach way out there and say, okay, 10 years from now, where would you want
10
to be?
years from now,
That's
hopefully
a
in your
big one.
position, to be honest. 10 years from now, I'd like to at least be the boss,
Yeah,
perhaps maybe one day have my own company, but
cool.
as it is, at least have a good job at a good company.
And that's an inspiration. And, basically it's just by being able to share that and understanding where people come from. Um, you've only been doing it for 4 years,
Yeah.
but yet at the same time, I can still remember what it was like. You probably heard me tell a lot of my stories, what it was like when
Yeah,
I
you
first
first
started
started.
out,
Yeah.
first scary. And so that's what you don't really ever want to forget. Um, so with that said, as we try to wrap up just this quick little interview here, and again, one of the reasons I just saw this today, where it was, of course, by the time this podcast airs, it'll be the week after. But last week, I believe, was Women's appreciation for in construction, and
Right.
so it was really kind of cool. So, what kind of advice? I mean, is this a career that women can go into, or do you have to have something special? But
Um,
I mean,
you
what
just have
advice would you give?
to have the drive and the dedication, just like anything else you want to do. I mean, really, it's just got to be something you want to do, and a little bit of mechanical ability because otherwise you're gonna have a hard time.
Now, I got to put this one out here. You're in your fourth year.
Hmm.
So what does that mean? You graduate this year,
Yeah,
right?
I graduate.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You'll be ready to go get your license with the
yeah,
state.
yeah.
Now, you're graduating from apprenticeship school. How many student loans do you have?
None.
How many?
Zero.
Wow. So you have zero loans. So you don't have any student loan debt.
I did it
That
the
is
smart way.
that is awesome. Um, again, I always tell people out there, nothing against college. That's a great thing. My two
Yeah.
kids went to college. Um, I haven't made it all through college yet. I've been going for the past 40 years, I think,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
but I still haven't had a chance. Life happens. But no student loans.
Yeah.
So that puts more money into your pocket where you can spend for house payment or whatever
It's
that
a
you have to
great
get.
head start. I mean,
It's a
even if
good
I
head
want to
start,
go to school,
as a
I
young person.
can, and it's
Right.
not gonna break the bank or
Right.
I can actually afford to further my education.
Fantastic. And when do you think your education is going to end?
Probably never. You learn
Absolutely.
every
Good.
day,
See
right?
that she actually learned something in the class. So
Yeah,
good,
right.
good, good.
That was it though. That was it.
That was everything. That's all.
everything
That's
I
all
learned.
I've taught her for the whole 4
Yeah.
years. But anyhow, I want to thank you, Ashley. One for being a great student. I'm really proud of
I try.
what you've done. You've done a good job.
Well, thank you.
And Ashley was very close to making it into our competition this year. We had a heavy duty competition,
Yeah,
and
but I can't bend pipes.
I had a 6-way. I had like a 4-way tie for the fourth person that we had to pick. So it was kind of
Oh,
interesting.
really?
Yeah, it was pretty much. I don't think you knew that one there, but it was a 4-way tie, and I had to break it down to
Narrow
the
it down.
hundredths of a point.
I think
I
you made
took
a
it
good
down.
choice. I think you
But
did.
yeah, we're getting ready to head to our apprenticeship competition. Actually, next week is when I will be going to the apprenticeship competition in Long Beach, California. So that's going to be a cool thing for apprentices. So those of you guys in the trades out there, hey, keep up the good work. And we can always use more women in the trades, hard
Yes.
working, a lot of opportunities there. And again, like she said, no student loans. That's really
Yeah.
kind of the key. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Ashley, for
No problem.
taking a few minutes
Thank you.
here, and I'll hand it back over to myself. So we'll close it out. All right. Thanks.
Hand the mic back.
Cool. Drop the mic. Wow, what a great interview. Thank you very much, Ashley, for your time for that. And again, I just want to emphasize um, the student loan thing. That's something that I talk to a lot of tradesmen about, and I talk to a lot of others. They are so far in debt. I just can't imagine the debt that some of these young people are in, and they can't get a good enough job to be able to pay back that debt. But yet, some of these young people that go out and learn a trade, the only debt they have is maybe their house payment and their nice truck payment or their decent car payment. Yeah, it's just like anything else. You start off tough, but you don't start off in debt. Man, that's got to be tough trying to, get up to a point where you're going to be able to pay off, $50, $60, $70,000 in debt, and you don't even own a house or a car. I just can't imagine how much money has to be made. It's taken me, 30 years to be able to work my way up to a level to even be able to think about affording that. But if you're doing something great in college, hey, that's a wonderful thing. But if you're just doing a basic college stuff where you're just taking basic courses, you might want to think about getting something that's going to pay you a little bit of money. But great interview. I want to thank her again for being a great student. She's always tried to do the best she can do, and she does. She asked a lot of questions in class. If she doesn't understand something, she's the very first person to ask a lot of times. And that's one of the things I want to encourage you also. Ask the right questions. Take charge of your life. And, your education is important. I'm not knocking education at all, my friends. Education is very important. But the right education and getting the courses you need. Not just taking courses is not going to make a difference in your life. So if you're in the trades right now and you need some extra courses, we do have them nationwide. Just go to www.surgingforward.com. We have, if you want to get your contractor's license, or you're looking at renewing your CEUs. We even have them out there for an operator's license for wastewater treatment. And there's a lot of different type of requirements for CEUs. So if you're not sure, just go over there and check it out and look at your state. And we have quite a few different ones out there for different trades and different careers to get your CEUs and to just kind of give you that little insight of some of the new stuff. So that's why we've been very busy. And I haven't forgotten about the code calculations course. I did, like I said, we talked a while back. I had some computer issues, but we're getting really close. I did not realize what's involved in changing over technology. If you look at some of my courses, they've always been pretty basic, and I can pump those out pretty quick. But we're trying to take this one really to a next level, and it's been a big learning curve for myself. Again, just like Ashley said, we never stop learning. It's a constant process as we continue to keep surging forward. Hey, my friends, I want you to have a great week this week. And again, check us out on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, just look me up, David Ballantyne. You'll see me there, and you'll see my profile as Motivator, and you'll see Surging Forward there. And feel free to connect with me there also. I connect pretty much with anybody out there. And on Facebook, the same thing. Just feel free to shoot me a line and send me a message or a DM and let me know why you would like to connect. That way I know you're not a complete stranger or some kind of crazy lunatic, because there's people out there like that too. But we want to keep it positive. And so if you're looking for help, if you're looking for a place where you can find the answers, you found the right place. All right, my friends, I want to wrap it up for now until next week. So I want you to, next week's episode, stay tuned for that, as we're going to be talking probably about the apprenticeship competition I'm going to be getting ready to head out to. And a lot of other cool things. I'm looking at lining up some interviews. So we're going to wrap it up for the second time. Hey, you guys have a great weekend, my friends. Have a great week. Keep surging forward out there. Keep doing the best you can and make the right choices. And stay safe and keep surging forward. God bless. Take care, my friends. All right, bye-bye.